Hello and welcome to another episode of Zero If I Could, where comedians discuss absurd reviews. My name is Raul Zambrano.
I'm Brittany Hersbred.
I'm Jake Disharoon.
We are Sans guests today. Also, I think I spooked Jake with my intro.
Well, I think you caused him to go partially deaf, is what it was.
Was that really loud?
Not to give the audience too much behind the scenes information, but right before Raul does the intro, he says, "All right, everybody shut up for a second." So there was maybe 3 or 4 seconds of just dead silence. And then, hello! I was like, oh my God, I was just, I expected you to ramp up into it a little bit, like, hello, welcome to the, but no.
I like to give like a little energy, pump myself up because I have to really prepare myself to do it because I do feel very embarrassed. So
it's embarrassing for you to start the show?
Just right before starting. So that's why I have to psych myself up and just then belt it out of me.
Oh, okay. Do you want to take turns doing the intros?
No.
If you get nervous. Oh, that's your thing.
That's my thing. I do the intro, goddamn.
But you hate it. You just said you don't like it.
I hate every second of it, yes.
But you don't want us
But it is my responsibility.
So you don't trust
I have to.
us.
Well,
that's not it.
Let's try one out, Jake. Okay, so I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode.
Sometimes. Did that? Oh, I'm sorry. Did that? Was that distracting when someone says something right before you're doing the intro?
Is this what it's like?
Yeah. That was the one time and I'm sorry, I had something in my nose, and so I was trying to get it out of my nose, and I didn't want Raul to do the intro while that was happening because then it would be on camera for everyone to see. And apparently now it's this big issue between us that I always interrupt Raul during his intro.
All it takes is one.
Now we're dedicating a third of the podcast to it.
So okay, well, Jake, it's your turn.
What is the intro? What do we say?
Oh, great.
Oh my God.
It's hello and welcome to another episode of Zero If I Could.
Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of Zero If I Could. I'm Jake Disharoon. Is there more?
If you learned your name, I think that you would be a strong contender.
I said my name. I nailed it. I think I nailed it.
I mean, you hesitated like you needed to summon it in your mind.
I paused is there another thing that he says before throwing to the
I
names?
usually give a little description of the show in case there are new listeners for this specific episode and they understand what the theme of our podcast is.
Then you know what? I actually don't know what your intro is.
Only do it every single goddamn episode.
I'm just waiting to say my name every time.
I guess to circle back, Raul, you're right. We can't be trusted with this responsibility.
I'm aware. I know. I didn't want to say it, but I have to do it. It's just a cross I have to bear, unfortunately. But
God, we would completely collapse without you. So
I'm aware.
Thanks.
Yeah. Jake, did you have a dog trainer come this weekend?
Yeah, yesterday.
How did that go?
She couldn't stop talking about how cute my dog is.
It is. To be fair, it is very cute.
It's a cute dog. She's very small. She loves people. She's very happy to see people. But yeah, I mean, we did some training. Mostly I complained to her about how often the dog pees inside. She's like, all right, I get it. That's why I'm here. But
she's like, shut the fuck up. I understand.
But yeah, I mean, it was, it was, I hope it was good. She hasn't peed inside today. So.
Oh, okay. Has she peed outside yet though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Really? You don't have to send your dog back. It's so exciting.
I don't have to return her.
This close. You seem so close to returning.
I don't have to hold her by the scruff of the neck and be like, hey, I was in here last month and I didn't know about this. Can you guys just take her back? I can't. I don't have space in my life for this dog. I almost had it. I was this close.
Well, I understand because sometimes I judge when people give dogs back, but if your dog is only peeing inside and you have carpet, that's a lot.
It is rough.
Yeah, in case anybody is new to this, right? The issue was not something minor. It was for about the first month that I had her, she would pee inside twice a day and never pee outside, even if I took her out 4 or 5 times a day. So that became frustrating, as you might understand, for me and my roommates, who it's not even their dog, and also they're smelling dog piss every time they open the door. So yeah, I we shared some frustration on that. But hey, you know what? It's a new day. Things are looking up. That's all I'm going to say.
That's great. I'm so happy for you and for the dog that is named after Chip's bird.
Okay, the dog's name is Nico. It's not spelled Niko. It's Neko.
Mm-hmm.
And it's named after Nico Case, the singer from the New Pornographers. And she has her own solo career. But I didn't even remember that Chip's dog was named, or bird was named
Bird.
Nico.
It was a bird.
Okay, I corrected. I got it.
Okay.
I didn't remember that. So that has nothing to do with her name. And I don't want that out there.
Okay. Raul will cut it out.
I'm not.
Okay. No, I need this
in.
correction on the record. So we can't cut anything.
I believe you.
Well, I don't believe you believing me.
I believe you. I
Okay.
see you. I hear you. I believe you.
Am I valid?
Yes, you matter.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? Well, no, that's not what therapy would be like, right? That's like more of
No.
a...
I mean, not in my experience.
Well, no, that's more of like a couples counseling. That's how you talk to each other type of thing, I feel like, right? I've seen that, I think, on TV and movies, but I don't know how true it is.
Well, none of us are married, so I don't know if any of us have been to couples counseling.
But I have seen where you say, like, I feel a certain way because they can't negate how you feel. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're saying like this and this and this, they could be like, no, that's not true. But if you're saying I feel like this, then like nobody.
I feel like you're a nagging bitch. She can't come back and be
she
like,
can't get mad.
You don't feel that way.
The therapist steps in and is like, well, you can't take that away from him. That he feels like you're a nagging bitch. What can we do? Mm-hmm. We have to address the cause of that feeling. Possibly you being a nagging bitch.
Being a nagging bitch. That could be it. Maybe.
I feel like, Raul, you and I should go to therapy so you can stop speaking to me so aggressively, like when you got mad about the intro
when the fuck
thing.
Do I do that?
And you just like lash out sometimes, and it's like so unexpected. And then I'm just like, oh, well, sorry.
Just don't make me mad. Mm-hmm. You know, as simple as that. That's all it takes.
Yeah. And then you know how like I'm the kind of person who just never says anything back, and I'm like really scared and meek and
right, yeah. You're a very weak woman. You know?
Yeah, and I don't like to say mean things ever, so I just am like better left unsaid.
Right, and you don't enjoy belittling men or like anything, you know?
No,
like that's how I totally get that. Yeah,
not all men. I'm firm in that.
But I'm wondering what instance you're thinking of.
I was sort of kidding. We did get in like an argument about Aaron Carter once that Raul was very passionate about. It's because he was pretty drunk, but he was getting really mad about it. And I was like,
pro or anti?
So I was saying that Aaron Carter, I understand why he's so crazy, because he was living in the shadow of his older brother, who's like in one of the biggest bands that has ever existed. And Aaron Carter also has the same dream, but is nowhere near as successful as him. And his parents, I'm sure, doted way more attention on a Nick Carter. Nick Carter was like this huge sex symbol. Like every girl was in love with him, and nobody probably gave a shit about Aaron Carter. That's a really, really, really difficult thing to live up with or to grow up with. And so like Aaron Carter is super into drugs, and he's like on OnlyFans, like showing his dick, and he's like insane now. And I'm just like, I get it. I get that, how that's the path you might take if something like that happens to you. And Raul's like, I just don't think he should feel that bad about it.
Not exactly. Ooh. That's not what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying that all that is like, I understand all that. Absolutely. But I just don't know if that's something that should be wallowing for 30 years continually, you know, like would still show up to shows and be like, yeah, I'm just so depressed because my brother was a famous person in the 90s, you know. And it's like, okay, well, eventually like how much of it is just you wallowing in this self-pity and just, you know, just move on. This is
another reason why you need to go to therapy, because it's obviously, I don't think it's going to manifest itself in like that's what his current thoughts are, but it creates deep emotional scars that never leave you, and it creates like these issues that you have with abandonment, not feeling good enough, like all of these things that continue into the rest of your life, and it's
destroy your self-esteem for your entire life.
Yes,
I would imagine.
But by that logic, then say the Olsen twins.
See, this is what he was bringing up. He was bringing up the Olsen twins and the Hemsworth brothers, who have kind of
then by that logic, like then no sibling should ever, would ever recover from that.
No,
but people do.
Hold on. See, the argument is not every time you have a relative that is more famous than you, naturally you're going to go insane. I don't think that's Brittany's position.
Seems like Brittany's position.
No, I'm saying it's completely understandable because of that would happen. I'm not saying everybody has that same response. And also the level of fame that the Hemsworth brothers and the Olsen twins have compared to their siblings is nowhere near. Like Aaron Carter was always a fucking joke, like always. And Nick Carter is in the most successful boy band of all time. People would faint at their concerts, like mass history, like world renowned. Like it just doesn't even compare to those other situations. Like, yeah, he's Thor, but what's his face was in the Hunger Games. And then the Olsen twins were popular when they were little, but arguably their sister is way more famous than them now. So it's like, it doesn't compare in my mind.
But do you think Aaron Carter could have done more to not end up feeling that this way 30 years later?
Maybe
30 years later,
done more.
Like maybe had tried to really pursue, like his music career, or
I think he did try very hard to pursue that music career, and sometimes I still get successful. I get how I beat Shaq stuck in my head sometimes. I know some of his, but it's just like you can't. It was never gonna be. He was never going to have that. He would have had to go in a completely different direction. He should have tried not to be a pop star, I think.
I think Raul's position is, hey, if you're mentally ill, just try not being. That's where Raul is coming from. You're depressed? Just don't be depressed. Just feel happy.
But the weird thing was when we were having this argument, it wasn't like this. Like, it was for a little bit. And then he started getting mad. It was weird. And he was like, kind of like, I don't know if I would say yelling, but definitely being like very aggressive about like how he was like, no, like he just like was not having it. And I was like, you have a brother, you don't think? And he was like, I would never, and like was just getting like really mad.
I was just thinking, it seems like we're touching a nerve because Raul has an older brother.
That's kind of what I thought.
A very accomplished. He like played video games professionally for a while, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, and you also play video games.
Yes.
I guess in a way you're the Nick Carter of your family.
No, he's the Aaron Carter of his family.
No, yeah.
You're the Aaron Carter.
Yeah, right. Yes. You had to flip.
Yeah. But Carlos shout out to Carlos. He's the Nick Carter.
Right. I mean, every little brother like lives in the shadow of his older brother. And I just, so from that perspective, I'm like, you could like,
let me ask you this.
Maybe be your own person. That's all I'm saying as well.
Yeah, Carlos doesn't have a podcast.
Yeah, see.
What if your brother was the most successful stand-up comic of all time?
That would definitely be hard to, swallow. Absolutely. But
I would struggle. And then, but you know what?
I stammer no matter what the case is.
Tomorrow I would wake up in the morning. I would say, today is a new day. And just write some better jokes, Raul. Just, you're fine.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Log into OnlyFans and hang dong. As you do.
Yeah, I have definitely seen some pictures and they're gross.
Of Raul's dick?
No.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Aaron Carter's. Sorry, I should have clarified.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, it's
wait, Aaron Carter's dick is gross?
I just think if it takes a very special circumstance to not see a dick and think it's gross. So yeah, and if I'm not like in love with you, then your penis is gonna gross me out. So yeah,
I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that if you're OnlyFans, any porn that's like very dick focused, I assume the audience is like, maybe 80% gay men, 20% women, because there are some women that are into that, but it's mostly dudes that are just like, I would like to see a detached body part in any circumstance. That seems more.
So by percentage, do you think like more men find dicks attractive than women? Just by solely percentage?
I don't think so.
What do you think more gay men find dicks attractive than straight women?
Yes.
Yeah, I would. I don't know that's it, but I would assume so because you also have dicks, so you're probably not as inclined to think that they're gross.
I would guess that pretty close to 100% of gay men like dicks. Maybe that's narrow-minded, and I'm being homophobic right now. If so, I apologize. However, I just got to assume.
It's my preferred genitalia, but I don't like to look at it, you know?
Sure.
But I do, like Caitlin and I will look at, what's that website she always talks about? Like something meat? Like
Meat spin?
No, it's like where you look up pictures of famous guys to see if there's any dick pics of them.
I don't know what the name is, but I know that exists because Caitlin has told me.
Yeah. So like I'm always curious. I like to look at them for like but it's not for a sexual reason. It's just like, oh, that's interesting, I guess.
But I feel like Caitlin is very into frontal nudity stuff, right? Like she seeks out like what movies have frontal nudity.
She is someone that I have, former guest of the show, Caitlin Kilgallen, by the way. She's someone that I've heard complain that there aren't enough dicks in, because there's a lot of boobs in like movies or like HBO shows. That's a very common thing to see, but very rarely do you see a man's entire penis.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I would like there to be more full frontal in films, but not because I'm like, yeah, look at that. I just think it should be more fair. Raul really likes when there's a penis in a movie or a show. He gets like very excited. It's weird.
The only time that you're thinking
it just catches him by surprise because he's always like, oh, like you have
definitely. It's funny.
You have clutching his pearl. Oh my.
Yeah, he has made that like spontaneous noise at least like twice while watching something where like a dick comes out.
Is that true, Raul? Is this,
yes.
Is this an accurate recounting?
I mean, no, but I mean, I just think it's funny. So if it comes on, I think it's funny to be like, oh my God, you know, but also, but the time that I can think that I was very excited was not sexually, but was it that that horror movie? Yeah, Ma. And so, you know, there's a scene where she has this guy tied to a bed and she takes out his dick and they show it and it kind of like, and then it cuts to her and she has a knife and I'm like, oh shit, is she about to cut this dude's dick off? I've never seen that on film. Oh my God, yes, you know? And then, but she doesn't. And it's just so fucking, it's such a cock tease, you know, because it's like, I was really hoping to see.
Yeah.
I wanted someone to see that.
Yeah.
I did too.
I've never seen that in a horror movie, you know, or really in any movie. So I was like, you know, that would be.
You haven't seen that in a comedy?
Yeah. In
a family film?
Yeah.
That's not in Milo and Otis, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
It was kind of out of nowhere because the movie was not that dark. So it was kind of unexpected. But we were in the theaters when we saw it, and he did make a noise that was like, oh! And like nobody else made a noise. It was super funny.
Just getting ready to applaud if they cut the dick off. Like, come on, just do it. I've been looking for this for my whole life. There's not.
It's like not like something that I knew I wanted to see until they presented it to me on a silver platter, and I was like licking my chops, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and then they took it away.
But to be fair, he got just as excited when we saw Antichrist and she cut her clit off with scissors. So it doesn't really matter what genitalia it is. He just, if you're cutting it off, I was like that was dope.
I enjoy, you know, the boundaries being pushed by cinema.
And I remember that. I could not watch that scene.
You didn't watch it?
I looked away. I literally looked. That's probably the only time I've ever done that in a movie.
Raul and I were like getting closer to the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just in a different space where she held up the scissors and started going for it. And I was like, no, don't do it. I don't like genital mutilation, I guess. I'm just that kind of a guy.
I mean, I'm against it in the world, you know.
Sure, but in a film.
Wow.
I wonder if, like, because I'm uncircumcised, maybe it's envy that I'm just watching, like, that could have been me or something, you know? I don't know.
You want to see a guy get his entire dick cut off, and you're like,
I'm just like,
man, if only someday that'll be me.
If only my parents were brave enough.
My entire dick and balls cut off.
I just want to point out that this is another episode where we end up talking about dicks somehow. How do we do it? How do we do it?
This was different. It wasn't the same conversation.
Yeah, this is about them getting horribly cut off in a horror movie. That's different.
It's been a while. Well, we can get to reviews now, should we?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So this is keeping in theme because it's been the past few weeks where we've had one about Target. So this is a 1-star review. It says, "Oh, there is a special place in hell for the way Target is scamming customers. I had a gift receipt that says returns and exchanges within 90 days. So I went to make a return today, well, within the 90 days. Well, for some items, it's less than 30 days, which they do not state which items are less than 30 days on the gift receipt. Hello, I got these as Christmas gifts and I don't do returns there. I do all of shopping online on Amazon, and this horrid experience is a perfect example of why I shop online. First of all, it was a busy Saturday afternoon. There's a long line of returns and one worker. One. They eventually brought out another worker as the lines kept getting longer. So they refused to do the return even though the items were sealed with a gift receipt. I hope someone starts a class action lawsuit for this bait and switch crap. Simple solution on the gift receipt: if you want to screw customers over with your crappy return policy, at least have the decency to put the disclaimer of saying this electronic is 14 days and this electronic is 30 days. How the hell are we supposed to know that unless you're an avid Target shopper, which obviously I am not. For the most part, I'm now only writing reviews for places that I have a really good or really bad experience at. I don't have time to waste, and generally I like to keep things positive, but this is the worst customer experience I've had in a really long time. This experience has landed them in my 0 stars, just say no collection, which is reserved for only the worst offenders. Thankfully, for the most part, my life is relatively stress-free. If this is the worst thing I have to deal with, I can deal with that. LOL. Okay, now that I've warned customers, I can go back to being happy, smiley Jen. Oh, and happy leap year. Hashtag Yelp fan. Also adding this to my hashtag holidays list collection. Disclaimer: my reviews and opinions are unsolicited and based on my own personal experience. I don't own or work for any of the businesses/owners that I write reviews. I write reviews simply to be a positive contributing factor and give back to the Yelp community and support awesome businesses. On the rare occasion that I share a negative experience, it's after I've unsuccessfully tried to resolve it privately. This is done in hopes that the company will improve and to let consumers make an informed decision. We are like magnets, like attracts like. You become and attract what you think and how you act. Keep surrounding yourself with positive people. It makes life and Yelp just a little bit better."
Jesus Christ.
At first, when I started reading it, I was like, why did I pick this one? Because it's not funny. And then I was like, oh yeah, she's crazy.
I really, first of all, enjoy the disclaimer of I do not work for these businesses. Like if someone posted a review of like, hey, this dentist is great, they really fixed me up good, I wouldn't be like, this is probably the dentist talking. Naturally, this is the dentist who works there, because they didn't include a disclaimer.
Yeah, like these are all of my opinions. Yeah, that's what Yelp is. It's like, yeah, no shit. Also, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, hashtags don't work on Yelp. You know, like
no, there was no. It didn't hyperlink.
It doesn't hyperlink or anything. It's like people just misunderstand the use of hashtags now.
And why would you be searching for Happy New Year's on Yelp?
I'm sure I'm gonna be able to find a lot of that lady's posts on that specific hashtag.
I bet.
But maybe I could find her on the holidays list collection because she spelled it with a Z. So that's spunky.
Oh wow, that is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I had another problem, which is she said we're like magnets, like attracts like.
But that's not how magnets work.
I mean, the number one thing you learn about magnets is the opposites attract.
Oh man, this was from 2017, but I really want to comment and be like, that's not how magnets work. Can you comment on someone's Yelp review?
I don't think so.
If you own the business.
Oh yeah, you're gonna reply.
If you can claim the Target Yelp account, just get in there, drop the Wikipedia for magnets on her, and then get out.
Maybe I can write corporate Target and be like, there's something that's really been bothering me. And maybe you could respond to this person and you could own them. You could own her.
You could shut her down so hard. This would go viral. It'd be a viral moment for you. People would love you. They'd be like, yes, Target's owning this weird lady who doesn't know how magnets work.
Target's the new Wendy's. You know how they're so funny on their Twitter?
Yeah. They are great. I love them.
Them and Blockbuster are killing it on Twitter.
Is Blockbuster on Twitter?
Yeah, and it's like the last one. I think it's like in Alaska, but they have like a very fun Twitter account and stuff.
Yes, it's in Bend, Oregon.
Okay. There are video rental places in LA that are, I mean, they're like small independent ones, but it does seem like if that exists at all, surely Blockbuster could still stick around, right? What's the holdup?
I don't know. I would. I mean, if there was one available, and it was a Blockbuster, I would definitely just go to check it out. I don't know that I'd rent anything, but it would be fun to walk in. That was my favorite part about it.
That is the problem, because now, I mean, assuming you're not going to get something from the internet, like let's say you need a DVD, I would just go to Redbox. I'm never going to go to.
I hate Redbox. I hate it.
Why?
I hate the experience of you're standing outside of a gas station or a grocery store, or you're inside, and then sometimes somebody lines up behind you. You feel like you have to be really. It's just like there's no experience to it. There's no magic of walking in, seeing all of it on the walls, knowing that you can buy some candy that is like $7. It's like even more expensive than at the movie theaters. It's like, I love it. And then I heard somebody talking the other day about how like the movie used to be out, and then you would ask the guy when it's going to be back, and they're like, oh, they're supposed to drop it off today but at midnight, but it's late. And then you're like looking at the people walking in being like, are they dropping off the movie that I want right now? Like, I don't know. And then sleepovers and going and picking out scary movies. It was so fun.
You're right. No, yeah. I mean, I didn't realize you had such a fondness for the video rental experience, but you're right. We don't have that anymore in our society. And that's why we're falling apart. I think we don't have that sense of community.
I agree. I think now's the perfect time to bring it back, though, because we're really about nostalgia right now. So they're rebooting everything. I think Blockbuster could make a comeback for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Big crush on a guy that worked at Blockbuster. I remember he looked like Chris Carava from Dashboard Confessional. Ooh, he was like so cute. He had big eyebrows. I remember every time I went and he wasn't there, I was bummed.
I used to work at a Hollywood Video. That was one of my first jobs.
Wait, I had a crush on a guy who worked at Hollywood Video too.
Oh my God, it was me.
No, it wasn't you. I know his name. Maybe you worked with him. He worked at
Jake Disharoo.
Is that your name? No, he worked at in the game area. You worked at the one by Bonita High School, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you know a guy named Dan?
I don't think so. I was only there for a couple months.
Jake.
What? Did you get fired or did you quit?
A little bit of both. They started scheduling me
it's usually one or the other.
They started scheduling me for like 3 hours a week. So that was, I took that as just a polite encouragement of like, hey, go and do your own thing.
You suck at it or something?
I'd sucked at something, but they had this thing where they wanted people to buy bundles where you like rent a couple movies and you get like popcorn and candy for a certain price. And I guess I wasn't moving enough bundles.
Oh, so you weren't trying to be a salesman.
I was not. And then, I didn't even think about it until like years later. I remember thinking back on that job and like, man, why did I? And then I remember the first day, the manager training me like, this is what a bundle is, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I probably didn't do that. I probably didn't offer that to anyone. And that's why I could have been the boss of that Hollywood Video. I could have saved them. If only I had known.
You could have gotten to know Dan, and then maybe we would be together.
Yeah, you ruined Brittany's love life, Jake.
He was the same guy who worked at Subway that I had a really big crush on, and then
you put way too much mayo on your sandwich.
Yeah. Surprisingly, he still thought I was cute. Like, I do not know how that's possible. Like, dude, hand to God, that was disgusting. The fact that he even like talked to me is crazy. But then he got a job at Hollywood Video. I didn't know that or like stalk him. I just went to Hollywood Video one day and then I saw that he worked there. It was like across the street.
Yes, I don't have to expose him to my disgusting mayo habits anymore.
Yeah. So yeah.
I can just go in and talk about horror movies. Let's chat about Salo. 100 Days of Sodom, that like some disgusting monstrous film, and he'll be like, oh, so you're just gross just sort of all over, like every area of your life is sickening to me. That's cool. That's probably cute. You want to get married?
I think that's how it would have happened.
Absolutely. All right,
I got a review. Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, don't. I got it.
See,
I'm the guy who did. I also like to do that too.
You like to, but I don't need it. All right, I'm on top of this. All right. This is for the Pacoima Dental Center in Pacoima, California. 2 stars. Took my BF in because he was having intense pain in one of his molars. They prescribed him painkillers and an anti-inflammatory and told him to come back in a week. When he returned for the extraction, the dentist told him that he could not perform the procedure because his wrist hurt. No call before, no reschedule of the procedure. The nurse at the front also commented that my BF needed to upgrade, in quotes, his insurance and gave him a pre-filled form to submit. Upon reviewing the form, we realized it was not necessary to make the change for the procedure my BF needed. You'd think a dental office would be more helpful when it came to treating patients, but they're concerned with how much they can charge your insurance. Definitely do not recommend. And one person found that review cool.
It's almost as if every single business in America is just trying to make as much money as possible.
We're the victims of capitalism.
I'm mostly confused with they needed him to upgrade his insurance by filling out a form at the dentist office. Like,
yeah, you can't do that through anywhere other than your employer.
You got to call the dental insurance company and talk to them. You can't just walk in and be like, hey, I'm going to upgrade my insurance so I can afford this surgery. I don't know.
And also that doesn't make the dentist more money because whether or not it's covered by your insurance or whether or not you're paying for it, it costs the same amount of money. So
exactly.
This person is not very smart.
I mean, they could have said you need to update your insurance information. And they were like, update? Fuck you, man. I ain't updating my insurance for you. But on the other hand, the dentist rescheduling or canceling the appointment the minute of because his wrist hurt.
That's very funny.
So funny. Just like letting you get there, sit in the waiting room and be like, all right, come on in.
I'm good.
Yeah, you know what? My wrist kind of hurts, so hit the bricks.
And that's one situation where like I wouldn't even be stoked to be like, oh, I get more painkillers, because when you have really bad tooth pain, it's actually very, very bad.
Oh yeah, any mouth pain is like,
yes,
that shit is intense. It sucks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Raul, you are looking like you've never had tooth pain in your life.
Oh, I have. I had I got a wisdom tooth pulled out, and that was absolutely horrible. And I don't know if I think. Yes. Yeah. And just the amount of bleeding, that like it happens is just nuts. And so I'm sure I have to have like another one pulled out, but I just, because of the experience, it's been years and I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it out eventually.
They just pulled out one wisdom tooth?
Actually, no, I think it was, I think it was just the one.
Why?
I don't know. No clue.
It seems like something went wrong because
mm-hmm.
I've never heard.
I'm not really sure even that's so they do multiple typically.
Yeah, do at least
one fell
2.
swoop.
I mean, I've heard of some doing 2 at once because maybe it was like
maybe it was 2 and I'm just misremembering. But I just remember like there was this expectation of like you should come back again so we could do the other side. I think maybe that's
one side. That's weird. They're supposed to do either bottom or top.
I don't know what the situation is.
That is
was definitely an expectation.
Remember that Dr. Dan or whatever dentist that was? Mm-hmm. I think that happened to you because I've always been terrified to get my wisdom teeth removed, but mostly just for irrational reasons. But I've heard it's like really not that bad unless you get like a dry socket or something. Like the recovery is not that bad. So the fact that you were in like a lot of pain and bleeding a lot seems
Now, who's
odd.
Dr. Dan?
So this is, yes, on the review, there was a review that Raul had found for this dentist that was like pulling out people's teeth for no reason, and he was like had lawsuits against him and like
was doing it with his fingers, like, and was just very obviously like a sadist, you know. And so he would like pop out 9 teeth at a time with his fingers and like strap kids to the chairs and like
and not use any like numbing or anesthesia and stuff. And it was like an actual news story. Like it was like it wasn't just people being ridiculous in reviews. It was like a crazy thing.
That is, yeah. I mean, that's like one of those things that just reaffirms your worst fears. Like you always have that idea that because dentists cause so much pain, you're like, well, what if they actually are evil? You know, like that idea you have when you're a kid. It hurts to go there, so like they probably like hurting people, and most of them are just normal people. But every once in a while, you find a guy who wants to hand pull teeth out of your mouth. That would be the red flag right there. Like he's taking them out with his hands. Must be very strong.
Yeah, definitely. I really like my dentist though, because last time I went, I was like, oh, I'm nervous to get my teeth cleaned because my gums are so sensitive, like to cold or hot or really anything. And then he just put numbing gel all over my entire mouth. And I didn't feel a thing. It was really nice.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, okay. And then just started rubbing it everywhere. And my entire mouth was numb for like hours. It was so cool. I was like, yeah, this is a great experience.
I like the feeling of, you know, the numb mouth, but I hate the drooling that happens to me. I'm just like, I just feel my saliva going. I'm like, oh God, I just don't even feel anything, you know? And it's embarrassing to talk to people when that happens.
It's certainly not sexy, but the relaxed feeling of like, I could do anything. I could fucking chew on tinfoil. I could bite a golf ball in half.
Jake, stop saying gross stuff.
That is not gross.
The tinfoil thing is cringy. But I remember I had something with my throat. I can't remember, but I was having a lot of pain. Maybe from like acid reflux, whatever. They gave me this thing that I had to gargle with that numbed my entire mouth for hours. And for whatever, I don't know why, but with my ex-boyfriend at the time, I was like, I really want us both to do this. And then our mouths are going to be super numb and then we're going to make out. And I was like, I was like,
that sounds funny.
It was. I was like, it's going to be interesting. Like, I just want to feel how it feels. It's probably going to be cool. And he was like, okay, like, sure. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, you just are with someone for so long, you got to spice it up.
Yeah, I do have to admit, when you said it made my mouth and throat numb, I didn't think making out was going to be the next thing that you said.
Yeah.
If you tried to blow somebody when you're like, your entire mouth is numb, I imagine that would be a horrible experience for both people involved. But that's just where I thought it was going. Personally,
he should have suggested it. He didn't, but you know that he missed out on that opportunity, I guess.
Did it feel cool?
I think it did. Like I was like, oh, interesting.
I feel like because you know so much of it is like the feeling of like getting in sync, kind of, and so I just would imagine you would be kissing really weird because you can't tell what his lips are doing. You know,
probably. I mean, probably. But
you're like, I have no clue. I didn't.
Yeah. I remember because I had to use it at work and stuff. And like, it was when Clarissa worked with me. And then I remember she would just do it and then try and talk on the phones to people and stuff while her mouth was not. It's
just experimenting on what life is like when you have a numb mouth.
You just got to get through work days sometimes, you know?
That's true. Yeah. It's whatever you can do. You got to mix it up.
Yep. Hey, Raul, do you have a review?
I do, Brittany.
Oh,
here's
cool.
a review for an escape room. It says, it was fun and my friends and I were figuring things out at a good rate, but so annoyed and disappointed with the fact that there was a gentleman allowed to come in with us. He told us that he created the room we were going to and that he would only watch and not join in or say anything. 5 minutes into the game, my friend finds a key, but we can't figure out where it belongs to. He comes up and takes the key from her, saying it's not part of it. So she hands it over and we continue. Several minutes pass and honestly felt like 20 minutes had gone by and we are stuck because he can't open any locks. I then hear the guy whisper to the worker, "Where's the key? There was supposed to be a key there." The same key from that same area that he had taken from us. So he finally gave it back when he realized what we had done. But we had already lost precious time. I was pissed because he specifically said he would not get involved, and he did. Needless to say, we got pretty far in, but we did not escape. Not sure if we would have escaped if he didn't take so much time from us, but I guess we'll never know.
That's so fucking
What?
weird.
So the guy, the architect of the escape room, is just sort of hanging out and is like waiting for people to go in and be like, "Mind if I tag along?" Just following them in like a fucking creep. And they find a key, and he's like, "No, that's an unrelated key."
maybe guess what could have been happening is like no one's beat this room, and he's like I'm gonna watch them not beat this room because this is my art masterpiece, and then they're like speeding through it and they find the key, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, they're gonna beat it." He's like, "Oh, that's not. No, this isn't.
No, that's
just gonna take the. Yeah, well, this is
personal
just my house
key to my safety deposit box in the bank where I keep my diamonds. Let me grab that from you." But then I'm overhearing him conferring with the other guy, like, "Hey, remember that key? Where is it?" Like, well, on the cameras, I saw you take it from them, so maybe that's it. That could be something.
I just think
so
it's weird that their complaint in the review is that he took away time from them and they didn't make it out, and not that they would let this weird fucking guy in with them. Like, I wouldn't even have wanted.
Her initial complaint is already like, I mean, it's annoying that like what, like, because she was like, "Well, why is this guy in with us?"
Yeah.
But then I guess he explains, he's like, "I'm the creator of this masterpiece."
Then I would have been.
No,
like,
you got to do the voice.
Even more, no. Like, no.
Yeah, I would. That would definitely be a firm no for me as well. Like, how much were they pushing this on her? Like the escape room guy, because I imagine she would say something to the effect of, "Hey, I want to do this with my friends. I don't know this guy. Why is he?" And they're like, "Listen, he's got us by the balls. This is John Escape Room. We can't say no to him. He owns the place. You got to let him go in with you." I would say, give me a discount on the room then. Like,
would you prefer it be that situation where he's like, "I just want to watch you guys play it because I made it and it's like cool and fun for me," or would you prefer them be like, "Oh, well, this guy was by himself, but he just really wanted to play. Can he join your group?"
I think I'd rather he not be involved at all.
Well, yeah.
I mean, no. What I mean is,
I'd rather just have a good time with my friends. Actually,
if that's an option. No, I mean, like, I allow him to be there, not like I guess just watch and jerk off in the corner or whatever it is he's gonna do. Then have him come in, like show off or something. Because if he created the room, he knows every single beat.
Well, I think the guy that created the room, that would be a lot easier for me to say no to. Like, both of them I don't want, but the guy who's just like, "No, it's my thing. I have this thing where I like to be in the room while you try to solve it." And I would be a lot more comfortable saying no to that than like, "Hey, my wife left me. All my friends, they chose her over me, so I can't, I got nobody to do escape rooms with anymore. That was our one thing. So mind if I tag along with you?" I'd be like, "Fuck, okay, I guess nobody's having a good time now, but okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's ruin this for all of us. Why not?"
I'm with you. And also, if somebody's watching me and they know what's supposed to happen, I'm very inclined to just give up. Like, I'm like, I don't want you to watch me and be like, "Oh, this is what you're supposed to do." Like, I don't care enough that I'm just going to be like, I'm done with this. I'm going to go to a bar across the street. You guys have fun. Catch you after. Not doing it.
Yeah. I mean, even best case scenario with this guy where he doesn't interfere, you're like trying to figure something out. He's just in the corner like,
Yeah, you feel stupid.
I can't believe you're looking in that drawer. Like, obviously the answer's in the calendar. What are you up to? Just having that judgment would be so annoying. Because doing an escape room is kind of silly. And you need to be able to not be self-conscious about it.
Have you guys been to one before?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you have done? How was it? Was it fun?
Yeah, I mean, I did it with my colleagues, I think, at an old job, and it was like, I don't know, it was pretty enjoyable. There was no creep in there watching us from the shadows.
Was it hard?
I remember it being pretty hard, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
we did a little more difficult room, if I remember.
Well, when they open back up, Raul, you and I should definitely go. My next review is for Starbucks. It says, it's in a tiny corner sandwiched by IHOP and T-Mobile with a tiny ass parking lot squeezed in with a drive-through. Are you kidding me? It's nearly impossible to navigate in the parking lot. Once you finally get inside, the seats are hard. I had to go to the chiropractor afterwards. My back was so sore from sitting there 2 hours with clients. Ugh. Everything else is typical Starbucks. Friendly workers, overpriced drinks, blah, blah, blah. The location is a death trap. Unfortunately, this location is the one that's convenient to my client, and he chose it. I personally wouldn't come here on my own. Because I didn't have any service issues, I round them up to 1.5 stars. But because of that horrid, dangerous parking lot, I can imagine how many car accidents occur in that tiny lot every month. I can't bring myself to round it up to 2 stars. I just got to round it down to 1 star simply due to location. Okay, but I like this part of the review because I'm very into points. It says, if you have a credit card that you get bonus points at grocery stores, just buy your Starbucks gift cards there. Then pay for your purchases at Starbucks using the gift card. You get bonus points on the credit card. For example, my Amex Hilton gives me 6 points per dollar at a grocery store. So let's say you get $25 gift card. That's 150 points as opposed to just 25 points if you use your credit card at Starbucks. I'm getting closer to my free Hilton hotel stay in Hawaii.
You're exactly the type of person that he was sticking for,
I honestly was motivated to be like, you know what? I need to check my different credit cards to see, because like certain ones will send me different promotions through different quarters. So sometimes it's like, oh, this now you get like 5 points on gas. So I need to recheck what they are. And then I'm like, I do go to Starbucks a lot. So I should be buying gift cards at Starbucks if I get more points on grocery. This was helpful to me.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely less of a review and more of like, here's a handy tip. Like you might see on a local news segment.
I'm very into points and saving money and scanning my receipts to get points back. And
sure.
Yeah, I really love all that sort of stuff. But it was funny that she said she had to go to the chiropractor after.
Yeah, I don't think I got that, but she had to go to the chiropractor because of what?
The seats were so hard that she had to go to
the seats at the Starbucks. Okay.
Were so hard. She had to go to the chiropractor after sitting in them for 2 hours.
Did they mention the coffee once?
She said typical Starbucks, overpriced drinks, blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
yes.
Starbucks, that's always.
Yeah.
But mostly the complaint is the parking lot then.
Yeah, which isn't
it's
Starbucks' fault. It seems like she should be writing a review for the shopping center. But
yeah, she loves Starbucks based on how much she's thought about how to get extra points for all the shopping she does there. So yeah, stick it to the people that really fucked up here, which is the designer of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. There are some parking lots that I would like to write the people who created them because
let's get into it.
The Chula Vista Mall. I'll tell you that one. Real bad. The parking spots are so tiny, but they're very long, right? No one pulls up all the way in them. So there are some aisles of that of the parking lot where there are cars that are so far out that you literally can't drive down them because the cars are sticking out so much. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. I'll turn to, and then I'm like, I guess I have to back out of this lane because I can't get through the parking lot. Wow.
So how many stars would you give the parking lot at the Chula Vista Mall?
I mean, still 2 to 3 because there's a lot of spots. There's a lot.
I was kind of hoping you would say I would give it 0 if I could.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Rewind. Go back.
Nope.
Go back.
Nope. Moment's lost. It's
Okay.
fine.
I have I don't dislike this parking lot, but it dislikes me. It's the Regal Cinemas parking lot. Rancho Del Rey, 16.
Well, it dislikes you because you are dumb.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure I've heard a couple of stories about you in this parking lot.
Yes. So
let's
for the
hear it.
listeners
Let's share them with the world
who are unaware, one time I was I was working at the Regal Cinemas Rancho Del Rey 16 movie theater, and I had swapped my car for a truck because my dad needed a car, and so he was like, "Here, take my truck," and it's a work truck where we're on top. There's kind of these
tall truck. It's a tall truck.
It's a tall truck, you know. And so I go through the parking lot, and I don't know if you guys are aware, but there is a height limit in most parking garages, and you never think it's you.
A several story parking lot, so they don't want vehicles too heavy up there, I think is the thing.
God,
and so
is this story going.
So you never know it's you. You know, you never really think about it, and it turns out I was beyond the height limits, and I go through the little area, and then the top of my car scratches with this big ass like pillar, the height limit thing, and then it just swings and then falls on the ground. And this thing is made out of like metal, so it just like slams, almost crushing a couple of cars and a coworker. And now I'm very embarrassed. So what I decide to do is I park, and then I run across the parking lot to the other side, and then just kind of walk in and clock in and just start sweeping up some popcorn, you know. And just like doop, and then someone's like, "You see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who was that?
Who
crazy?"
You know? And so then I just continued working until I got a call from the police.
Oh, yeah, that was going to be my next question. Did you get in any trouble?
And well, actually, my dad had got the call because it was his truck, and so my dad eventually called me. But I guess they had left a voicemail. The police was like, "We know you're in Regal Cinema 16. Come out, and we'll talk about this.
Come out, or we'll shoot."
Yeah, basically. But eventually, I had to go talk to him, and it was very embarrassing. And I was like, and they were like, "Well, he works here, so this isn't. We can't really consider it like a certain type of damage or whatever because I'm an employee here, So it was like they were like, I guess we're just going, we're leaving now." But it was just very funny. And then another time, I was backing up and I hit one of the the dividing pillars, and then it rips off my front bumper during my break. Like I was just gonna stop by the house to get some some food, and then it rips up my front bumper, so now I have to pick up my bumper and put it in the back seat of my car and then go home. All this during my 15-minute break.
It's the same. Also, it's funny because it's the same pillar that holds up the height limit sign.
That pillar just.
Oh wow!
I saw
the history.
I remember going into the box office, and my general manager was like, "Are you trying to destroy my parking lot?" And I'm like, "No, I'm very dumb. I'm sorry."
It's like secondhand embarrassment wise, though, like working in box office, there are a lot of people that park next to that pillar and then forget that it's there. So I have seen so many people back out full speed and just smash their car into that pillar. And then
it is very thin.
Yeah.
It's pretty, if it was thicker, I feel like you would kind of see a little more, but it is easy to forget it's there because it's so thin.
It is.
But it's
so every time
but the
I
thing is indestructible.
I was paranoid about it. So I was always like, where is it? Just because I knew. But yeah, everybody always got out of their car, looked at the back of their car, then you see their head kind of go down, and then they just get in their car and drive away. And I was always so just really embarrassed for them.
I got a review here. This one's a little bit long.
No. Raul, ask him.
Jake, do you have a review for us?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, well,
yeah, this is what you open yourself up to. You ask me, and then you become vulnerable. If I just go into it, everybody's fine. All right. This one's a little bit long. I apologize. But this is for the El Cortijo Taqueria y Cantina in Burlington, Vermont.
Good accent.
Thank you. Today, after a long day skiing, we decided to try a quote-unquote Mexican restaurant down Burlington. It was a cold day and establishments were either closed or deserted. As we came in, my son and I proceeded to a table since nobody greeted us. My husband was intercepted steps prior to a table by a woman maybe in charge. She started to elevate her voice while interrogating my husband about our whereabouts, asking if our family was from out of town and if we had COVID symptoms. The tone was ridiculous and she appeared to be really incoherent. My husband informed her that it was our second night in town and we are from southern Massachusetts and that he and I have completed the COVID vaccination process. She answered by saying that we were not going to be served since the restaurant is tending to locals only. We knew that was BS. She practically threw us out. My son, who is 12, kept asking why, and we decided not to make a scene in trying to explain to him the issue while still in the restaurant. My husband is a physician who takes COVID seriously. He enforces COVID protocols at the hospital and at our home. The treatment that we got tonight made us feel unwelcome, and we were thrown out like garbage. About the restaurants, it looked like a food truck was transformed into an establishment by adding dingy tables and a cheap-looking bar. The decor is hideous, dated, and while they try to keep a 1950s diner vibe, it wouldn't hurt to spruce it up to avoid looking like a dive. There was one customer eating, and when I passed next to her table while on my way out, I was able to peek a look at her food, and she had typical inauthentic Mexican food. I will make sure to tell every person our story from the area that could visit to all people that we meet while in Burlington. I'm also glad that she threw us out. I'm also glad she threw us out since our dinner at Sweetwater's happened in an enjoyable formal setting with great food. My husband felt incredibly disrespected. I felt bad for him and very sad because this little getaway was the first break he has had since the craziness of COVID started. He has been working so much. I guess this woman doesn't have the same mentality that we are all trying to be good to each other during this very difficult time. A lot going on. The idea that you can have a restaurant that serves locals only is obviously not true. You just have to interrogate every single person that comes in. Like, you're not from around here, are you? So you can't eat at our Mexican restaurant that's styled like a 50s diner?
Yeah, it's a very odd theme.
A Spanish name and then a 50s diner theme? You gotta pick one. You're gonna be a diner, you gotta serve like tuna melts or whatever. You can't be serving burritos.
Well, what do you think? You don't think that there were Mexican places in the 50s? Like,
I don't think that there were Mexican places in the 50s looked like 50s American diners.
I don't know.
I think most restaurants that look like that were, in fact, diners. That's my hunch.
But I just think that was the decor at the time, and probably most restaurants looked like that because it was 50s decor for the 50s.
But to be fair, it is not the 1950s, and I think that there is an association with diner food when you see an establishment that has that decor, you know. But
I'm with it. I'm like, that sounds cool to me.
I mean, I'd like.
Well, bad news, you can't go because you're from out of town.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry.
I like how she remarked on a place in Burlington having inauthentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone from Massachusetts I don't think they really have a say into what is authentic and what isn't.
Yeah.
And maybe that this is just my Southern California elitism, you know, but I feel like, you know, I don't think they would know.
If they don't live within, I don't know, 200 miles of the Mexico border, you can't just go to another state that's also not, there's also no Mexican people in your state, and you go to another state where there's no Mexican people, and you walk in and you're like, boy, this isn't the Mexican food that we get in southern Massachusetts. Let me tell you right now.
Yeah, haven't they been to a Rubio's before? I don't know, because you guys seem like you're on their side, but I mean, I'm not really on anybody's side, but I'm just inclined to, like, if anybody has any sort of COVID protocol and maybe theirs is not to serve out of towners, I would just be like, okay, Like, I feel like I would just respect whatever they have going on at their restaurant that makes them feel comfortable, and I would just be like, that's fine.
I mean, I would definitely be annoyed because it's like, if you want to eat somewhere and then just being refused service is very annoying to begin with. And on top of that, it's kind of like, wait, for what reason?
Well, because,
that seems very fucking weird.
So maybe in their town, they have COVID really under control. And then it's kind of, how certain countries aren't allowed to travel to different countries because they don't want more COVID cases there. So maybe they're like, hey, there's really no COVID going on in this city, so we don't want to serve people that aren't from this city. That kind of makes sense to me. I don't know.
But I feel like every single restaurant would have to do that in order for it to really work. Like, just one restaurant not.
But maybe they're just trying to keep themselves safe. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense because other people are going to go around. I just don't care enough to be like with something like this where people have so many strong opinions and like people are scared and stuff. It's like, fine, that's fine. I'll go eat somewhere else. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I would also just leave without incident, but it is pretty ridiculous that it's just like, we don't serve out of towners. Because what if they just say, hey, are you from around here? And they're like, yeah. Okay. They're lying, but how do you know? Burlington's not a huge city, but I doubt they know every single person in town.
What's your ID? Let me see your ID.
Your driver's license. If it doesn't have a Burlington zip code, get the fuck out.
Brittany has a thing about wanting to live in a small town, like in the CW shows and stuff. But Milwaukee would not be a possibility.
Milwaukee is not a small town, and Milwaukee is a big city.
I just have no clue how big Milwaukee is, and any town that's basically not, Los Angeles or San Diego. In my mind, I'm like, small town, right?
How small of a town are you looking for?
I'm looking for a small town that is in like Vampire Diaries or Gilmore Girls.
Well, okay, he wouldn't know those references.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know what their populations are, but they're like
of course, Vampire Diaries size town.
Like 5,000, 5 to 7,000 people.
Like Everwood, like those very small, cute towns where like everybody knows everybody's business. They have like a town fair. They have like little carnivals, and like there's like one. For you? I don't think it. Okay, so it's just how because it looks so cute. Everything's so cute. Their little main square is so adorable. Everybody has like one bar and like one super cute restaurant that they go to, and then there's like one cute guy that works there, and then you're from California, so they're like, oh, she's from California, that's exciting, who's this girl? And then that's
I like that. This is I am seeing your fantasy come to play.
It does sound more like you just want to fuck some hot guy. That's
in a small town.
The entry point is just like, no matter what the fantasy is, it always ends up with, and then there's a hot guy and I get to have sex with him. Like, what if I was the owner of Hollywood Video? It'd probably end up with you sleeping with that one guy who worked there. That's just the world. I get that. I respect that.
Well, I also just think like it just, how some people like dream of like escaping to the mountains and like,
sure.
It's just like a small, like they're so cute. I just think they're so cute that it makes you feel nice. It kind of feels like Christmas all the time, It just like feels like warm in your heart.
I feel like when you would actually live there, like you would be so bored that you would hate it.
Sure. Also, the population of Milwaukee in 2019 was 600,000 people. So definitely not a small.
Is that big?
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty big.
Okay.
That's a big city. Their downtown feels more like a real downtown than San Diego, for sure.
Downtown fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Speaking of downtown, I have a review here for a bar called Star Bar.
I love Star Bar.
Sure.
This person did not.
Well, I can also understand that.
It said, I really wanted to like this place, but frankly, it smells. Maybe if you sit outside, you can't smell the nastiness, but inside, it's gross. It smells like it has been there for 50 years, but it looks like a newer place. Some of the staff look cracked out too, like something you'd find a seedy part of town. I will avoid this place in the future. There are plenty of other places in the area to have a better experience. Now, Here's a response from someone. I guess it could be the owner,
Is
but I
it
know
from
the owner
Star?
is like it, but it's not from Star. So that's what's
Oh,
confusing
okay.
to me, because we know the owner, and the owner is literally, her name is Star. All right, but there's a response here. It says, "Hi, Mark. Thank you so much for
hi,
your
Mark.
valuable input. Quick question for you. Which part made it smell worse? The part where we didn't serve you any alcohol, or the part where you harassed our staff by exposing your chest hair in lieu of showing your ID? Next
Ooh.
time you want a Miller Lite, please bring the appropriate ID that is required when you go to a bar, and we will gladly serve you."
Boom face. That's why I love Star Bar. Although
Fuck this guy. Fuck Mark.
their review though was 100% accurate in everything that they said, but that's why I love it. But
Well,
it's
except for the part where they said it looks new.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It does not look new. It definitely does not look new. It's like the shittiest, and they were like, it looks like it's been around 50 years. It has.
Because it has.
Yeah,
It's been there.
It's one of the oldest bars in San Diego, and it's in a bad area of town. They're like, it seems like it's in a bad. Yeah, it's gross. It's right in the middle of downtown, where awful. Like it's awful.
Yeah, the critique of it seems like the kind of bar you'd find in a shitty neighborhood. It's like, yeah.
Did you look around at the time? Did you?
Yeah, like
were you not surrounded by like
downtown San Diego? That part of town.
Everyone inside
place?
seems like they were on drugs. Yeah, they're fucking on drugs
Yeah,
in Star Bar. Oh man, I miss Star Bar. I think they went out of business for a little bit, and then now they're back. I think they have outdoor seating. We should go. Oh my god, we should go.
We should go try it out. Yeah, and so Star Bar has a good place in my heart, because it's also some place that I go from work, from the Madhouse Comedy Club, or say I'm performing. Star Bar is a good place to go into.
I used to go after work a lot too.
I wonder if that wink is going to be audible to the.
It was like the worst wink too, because I was trying to wink and talk. I'm not good.
Okay. I'm not that good with the left eye, but the right eye.
There you go.
Ooh, the pointing makes it good, because the pointing it really detracts from your actual wink. So
right. Well, if you turn too, it helps, because they can't see you close the other eye. Because you can even do both.
Yeah. Oh, you could just be blinking.
Yeah.
Just like. That's a handy tip right there.
That is, yeah. Hey, Raul, do you have anything that you want to plug?
God damn it! I do that part.
But you can't ask yourself, and you actually maybe have things to plug.
I think we have to scrap the whole episode at this point.
Yeah. Let's just delete it.
So I think it's about time we start wrapping up. So, Raul, you said you don't have anything to plug? No?
Leave me alone.
Oh man, things are getting really out of.
What the fuck? That's not how I say it. First of all, and it's not directed.
Leave me alone. That's how you sound every time.
That's not what I said. It's also not directed at the person asking me. It's directed at the audience.
But do follow us at Zero If I Could Podcast on Instagram. You can follow me personally at Raul Z Comedy on Instagram as well. Brittany, where can they find you?
At Bitchney H.
Follow Brittany at Bitchney H. Bitchney H, yes. And Jake, where can they find you?
Oh, is it the same one that you say every episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You can follow me at Jake Disharoon on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
Whoa.
I just don't want to give you any more ammo for your hate crusade against me, so I'm mixing it up. I mean, don't actually follow me, but All
right, that has been our episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.